All right, so I'm going to say something that you've probably heard before. And when I say it, there's a strong chance that you're going to think to yourself, I've heard that before. But here's the deal. If you aren't crushing all your goals on all fronts of your life and in the winner's circle consistently, then you haven't really heard it, right? Because there's hearing it with your ears in your brain and believing that you understand it, but it's just head knowledge. And then there's really fucking hearing it, like living it, being congruent with it. You with me? So, even though it's probably something you've heard before, let me say it, suspend disbelief for a few minutes and hear me out and see if this isn't helpful for you. And here's what it is. The time is going to pass anyway. Let me say that again, and I'm going to dive in. The time is going to pass anyway. What am I driving at? There are two things that I know for sure are guaranteed to you as a man and your existence here on earth. One is that time will pass. No matter what you do or don't do, how you do it or don't do it. You and I, we don't have the power to stop time or speed it up. Time will pass. The second thing that I know for damn sure is guaranteed is there will be times, chapters, and seasons in your life where you suffer, where you have pain. Does that make sense? Whether it's a small amount of pain, big amount of pain, relationship-related pain, financial-related pain, physical health-related pain, whatever it might be. But those two things I can guarantee you. Time's going to pass. You're going to have times when you suffer. So, when I'm talking with somebody, a man, about accomplishing life goals, doing this, doing that, whatever it might be, something that I share that I have found helpful for me is this idea of, listen, time's going to pass one way or another. The only thing that you have control over is how you pass it. And you're going to suffer eventually and repeatedly one way or another. The kind of suffering you're going to have is what you can have an influence on. So let me explain. You can suffer, or let me back up. You can pass time by sitting on your couch, eating a bag of Cheetos, binge watching a show on Netflix, or you can pass the time by going to the gym, working out, dialing in your macros, and making sure that you eat healthy generally and stay on point. You have the power to pass time in either one of those ways. The time will pass one way or another. Part 2. You can go out with your boys for the night, with your belly hanging over your jeans because you're a slob that sits on a couch eating Cheetos and binge watching shows all your life. And you can suffer from girls not paying you any attention, not wanting to have anything to do with you, right? And just basically being invisible to them, right? And then you can suffer with the resentment, the frustration, the self-loathing, the self-hatred, and everything that comes with that. Or you could have suffered earlier in the gym, suffered earlier with self-discipline by maybe eating a little bit of Cheetos here in moderation here and there, but staying dialed in on your macros. And then when you go out with the boys, all the girls' eyes and attention is on you. And of course, we're all things being equal here, we're assuming that you don't have the personality of a donkey and that physique is going to make a difference. So do you see how Guy A and Guy B both had time pass? Guy A and Guy B both had suffering. But how they passed the time and where they chose to have the suffering is what we have influence over as men, as humans. Time passing is guaranteed. Suffering is guaranteed. You can either suffer the pain of discipline or you can suffer the pain of regret. The pain of discipline, the suffering of discipline happens right here, right now, because it's by conscious choice in the moment. And it's usually because you're choosing to do something hard, like working out, working on something, denying yourself some sort of an impulse-based pleasure, whatever that might be. Your discipline is usually hurts right now so that you can then have the pleasure, as a metaphor, of going out with your boys at night and having all the girls pay attention to you. Or you can choose to have pleasure right now, no discipline, binge watch Netflix, eat the Cheetos, and then suffer later by going out and wondering why the girls don't love you even though you're such a nice guy. I've been both guys, by the way. I've been 50, 60, and 70 pounds overweight and fat. Chonky motherfucker. All right? I yo-yoed 3 big times in my life like that. Never going back. I know what that's like. So I've lived both versions of reality. I've lived guy A and guy B. I've been the guy that will lay on the couch and binge watch 2-3 shows a week, miserable, upset, frustrated, angry about all the things not working out no matter what I do. And rationally, that can be true in the moment, in an illusion, but it's not. Because then I also was the other guy. Did what I had to do, no matter how I felt day in and day out, got the result, and then I got a pleasure. And the pleasure that comes from choosing the pain of discipline is a pleasure that can't be bought. It cannot be bought. It can only be earned. The pleasure of being in the winner's circle mentally, of having momentum with your physique, your strength, and your health, of having momentum financially, financial abundance, financial security, of having momentum and constantly winning with girls, socially, building the life that you want, being able to enjoy and afford the hobbies you want to do, the traveling you want to do, the fun things you want to do, the nice things you want to have. But again, bringing it back to right here, right now, in this moment. The next 60 minutes are going to pass one way or another. How you pass them is up to you. You can either suffer right now with the pain that is created from self-discipline, because there's some pain to it for sure. Sometimes a lot of pain, depending on the effort you're putting in, what you're doing, and how hard you're pushing. But it's the only way that you're going to unlock a dramatic elevation in your life where you get to now play at a level and have resources, opportunities, and reality available to you that you once used to only dream of when you were the guy and wish for when you were the guy on the couch with the Cheetos binge watching Netflix. And if you're the guy that's going to pass the next 60 minutes on the couch binge watching Netflix, eating a bag of Cheetos, don't you be dishonest and dare be upset later when you're invisible to women and invisible to society and not crushing your goals and not in the winner's circle later. You got your pleasure and now you have to pay the price of pain. But it seems to me like time and pain are going to always happen. Time's always passing and pain will be paid. The Pied Piper will be paid in one way or another. So, and by the way, the pain of later suffering and consequences for the guy that sits on the couch, that is a choice, by the way. That is a choice. You are actively choosing that. You might not be consciously thinking about it, but choosing pleasure now means you're choosing pain later. It seems to be a formula. It seems to be a very tried and true formula, no matter how many ways I've tried to slice it or dice it in my life or in the observation of the lives of other men. Pain, the Pied Piper will be paid, his ounce or his gram or his pound of pain. Just seems to be the reality of life. So I really want you to think about that, because the next 60 minutes, the next 3 hours, the next day, homie, it's going to pass. It is passing, right? The next week, it's going to pass. The next month, it's going to pass. Look at the past week, month, 3 months, 6 months, year, 3 years, 5 years of your life. Where's it gone? Now, let me ask you something. Where would you be today, right now, if for the last 1 to 2 years, you had done everything that you knew you needed to do, did it to your personal best, like Deadpool says, maximum effort, you put in maximum effort consistently, right? You chose the pain of discipline, showed up for yourself every single day, which, by the way, another video I talk about this, that self-discipline is the ultimate form of actually loving yourself, not this feel-good nonsense that most people talk about nowadays, which is some version of binge watching Netflix and eating your bag of Cheetos on the couch. If you'd shown up for yourself for the last 2 years and did everything that you knew you needed to do, where would your life be right now today? And as I've said in other videos, I'm not saying this from a place of judging you or judging men or putting men down. I'm saying this from a place of wanting to call men up and to help us all collectively elevate, to individually elevate our lives to the level that we dream of it being at, so then we can all collectively create a better world. The world is made up of every individual human. Every individual matters. So I'm not putting you down, I'm not knocking you, I'm not judging you. I'm trying to put a demand on your consciousness, your awareness, and your thinking, and stretch it and pull it around so that you can kind of see things bigger picture. The time passed. This past week, it passed. This past month, it passed. These last 6 months, year, 2 years, 5 years, they've passed. In the last 2 years, all that time has passed, and you've had seasons, chapters, and stretches of pain. I guarantee it, because that's life. You've had them. Were they the pain of self-discipline, where you were putting yourself through hard work, maximum effort, staying disciplined, staying locked in, staying focused, and saw yourself consistently progress, elevate, and unlock new opportunities and new altitudes and new layers of life? Or have you been the pain of misery, frustration, regret, etc.? But you've had some kind of pain. I know that for damn sure, because I'm a man, and men, we're all, on a fundamental level, we're all the same. None of us are outside the principles and precepts and fundamentals of the universe and life and how it works. You dig? So I say to you in wrapping up one last time, and I say it again, the time is going to pass anyway. So what are you going to do with the next 60 minutes, the next day, the next week? It's up to you. All right? And the pain is guaranteed. Either paying the price of pain with discipline now to create a better version of yourself, the greatest version of yourself, and to elevate your life, or you're going to pay the pain of regret, frustration, being average, not ever getting to experience your dreams, desires, and wishes. But the pain's guaranteed. Time passing is guaranteed. The pain is guaranteed. You get to choose how you pass the time and what kind of pain you feel. So think about it. And then ask yourself, what are you going to do with the next week, month, 6 months, year?